Alright, all you Christmas video gamers out there, welcome to yet another Christmas time, Yuletime Weapons Haul edition of the DJ Smokey's True Christmas Video Game Stories. And with a title like that for this year, folks, we decided to go to the DLC for Borderlands 2, known as How Marcus Saved Mercenary's Day. Or what we're gonna end up calling Mercenary Day for short, because the title was so long it could barely fit in a box. So with that said, folks, I think it's time for me to put on my special glasses and crack open my Yuletime book as we get ready to paint the Christmas picture. This tale of Christmas cheer began about a year ago, or at least 2 weeks after Christmas, heading into the next year for a Christmas show. And the reason why we decided to get this DLC had nothing to do with Christmas, but had everything to do with the fact that we could get a whole bunch of exciting new ballistics. But during this Christmas tale, the second I stepped through Santa's door, I would find out I would find something even more dangerous in store. And while I was making my way through this ice-cold forest, I would see things I thought I would never see. Not only rustling in the background, but an oversized Christmas tree. Now, the reason why I said it was out of the normal, because unlike the one in my house, this giant oversized Christmas tree looked like it belonged in the giant's house. Big show for those who don't know. But on with the story I go, because during this said moment of pre-violence I was about to undertake, I was already 5 minutes into this DLC and thought I made some form of mistake. Cause as I was moving around watching Christmas tree rustle and seeing nothing going on, next thing I know I would turn the corner and something that would make my eyes bright as dawn. I would see a giant oversized train carrying a whole bunch of presents with care. But at the same time, before Marcus could say anything about what the mission was, I would just sit and stare and marvel at this steam train that was right before my eyes, where I would wonder what sort of crazy thing they got in disguise. And when I hopped on this train, I realized two things: that this train obviously wasn't the fastest, and at the same time I would have to fight an army of snowmen while this train was moving slower than molasses. And throughout this whole bit of mayhem involving snowmen trying to attack me from left and right, I played as Krieg the Psycho, as I almost forgot to mention during this story, to solve this Christmas plight. And while playing against these snowmen with Krieg the Psycho throwing axes aplenty, I realized that the snowmen, with the levels they had currently and the difficulty I was fighting, was way too many. But at the same time, with Krieg's special ability of pain that he takes and gives back, every single one of those icy warriors would get knocked straight out of whack, because I would take the axe right to their heads and fill all of their hearts with some form of dread by sending each one of these evil snowmen henchmen down the hill like a toboggan or a sled. And after my intense battle with the snowmen that came out of nowhere that would go down to a simmer, I would realize that the whole entire village that Marcus decided to deliver the weapons to would be frozen like a TV dinner. And after I defrost those citizens of that town to wonder what happened and what went on, they would tell me that a giant snowman that was abominable was the reason why everything went wrong. So with Krieg's unquenchable thirst for endless moments of violence, we decided to head down this frozen elevator shaft to bring their Snow King to silence. Now, prior to this fight, folks, things were all simple. All they told me was just to ring a tiny little bell. But the second I would ring that bell 3 times like Beetlejuice, everything would go immediately straight to hell. Because the next thing you know, folks, a giant oversized snowman who would be at least 60 or 50 feet tall. And before you give me that off-look maestro right now, I'm not a measurement stick. I don't know the height of that thing at all. But before this fight would go down in this wintry fortress where I would have to fight this snowman of pain, next thing you know, when I decided to try to take out my axe to fight him, he would counteract with a giant oversized candy cane. Now, for anybody at home expecting an epic fight with Krieg the Psycho going up against this snowman like that, unfortunately, due to the fact of his weak hat and skills, the fight was over in less than 30 seconds flat. And after I got done beating the giant oversized snowman and his subordinates that tried to help him out, the happy, cheerful folks of Gingerton, the town I forgot to mention, would reward me for my frosty 1-round bout. And what would they reward me with? Things that I could use to try to take out people left and right in other fights outside of this snowy land. And all of the weapons I would be able to collect were legendary and was all worth well over 100 grand. And just when I thought things couldn't get any better, after the town helping them out with their small plea, Marcus would get on the microphone and tell me that every single one of those weapons were absolutely free. And as I looked at all of the legendary weapons that would help each one of my characters with an evil grin of delight, little Timothy would then wrap up this story perfectly by saying, "Merry Mercenary Day to all, and to all a good night." And with that, folks, wraps it up for another wintry snow fighting with weapons edition of the DJ Smokey's true Christmas video game stories. And with that, we'll be back with more right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.